G'day Gooners and welcome back to another episode of the podcast. As you can see by me and George's facial expressions right now, we're absolutely buzzing. Huge win in the North London Derby. I'm feeling amazing today. How about you, George?
Oh, mate, there's nothing like it. Derby Day wins, man. Derby Day wins. I've been awake since what, 2:45 this morning, and I'm absolutely thriving. What a win. What a performance. Obviously, we will delve very, very deep into individual performances. But overall, I guess what a way to bounce back from Wolves, man. Obviously, Man City narrowly beat Newcastle, which was a great result for them, to be fair. But it just meant that the pressure was on us. Obviously, points are now, well, they were 2 points behind us. Now we've extended our lead again to five. Obviously, they've got a game in hand still, but it was super important that we went to Spurs and beat them, and we did it in a very, very convincing way. Um, Honestly, everyone from I guess goalkeeper to centre forward plus subs had a role to play. Whether they played well for the 90 minutes, that's something that we can talk about further. But all of them had a role to play, and yeah, what a convincing win, man! What did you think of it?
It was class. Yeah, I mean that. Obviously, going into the game, I was a bit, nervous because, I mean, we dropped points against Wolves. Who's to say that we're not going to drop points against Spurs when the pressure's really on? And Spurs were definitely. I mean, it didn't look like it on the day, but they should have been up for it. I mean, it's their chance to take the title away from us almost, or make it significantly more harder. And yeah, they didn't really have anything to be honest. It was kind of a comfortable win in the end. But yeah, let's get into the game because 4-1 in the end, it was not what we expected. I predicted a 1-0, you predicted a 2-1, I believe. So we both predicted kind of narrow scorelines, and I guess we were both proven wrong. And Eze, that first goal, beautiful. Eze again. It's his fourth goal, and then obviously he got the fifth later on, but that's just crazy levels of disrespect getting 5 goals against Spurs, isn't it?
I'm pretty sure he's scored in his career more goals against Spurs than Thierry Henry did, which is pretty
Yeah.
pretty remarkable considering he's
Yeah.
only what 27, 28. Yeah, no, he's a born gooner. He absolutely loves it. Obviously, he's come into quite a lot of criticism, and I guess somewhat rightly so. My personal opinion is he hasn't really had the amount of starts warranted for the level of criticism. Obviously, he's moved teams, big money transfer, I guess marquee signing, if you will, the whole saga of what happened with Spurs, him moving across to Arsenal, obviously being a born Arsenal fan, and just everything that went with the transfer. It was yeah, there was a lot of pressure, I guess, and so there is a sense of adaptation period that you got to give him some grace for. But he, as I've said previously on other podcast episodes, he's come up with some serious moments in an Arsenal shirt so far. Obviously, the hat trick in the first game against Spurs, the assist to Martinelli in the last minute, which again, like that's taken 2 points off Man City. So
Yep.
who knows how important that will be at the end of the season. And another assist from Martinelli against Bayern Munich. He scored against Palace to win the game, and obviously the brace today. So he's come up with a lot of minutes. I personally, again, I mean, we saw a glimpse of him on
Yeah, I
that
was going
left
to
hand
mention that too
side.
because I knew
Oh,
as soon
mate.
as I saw that, I was like, I'm going to mention this on the pod. George is loving that. But there was that
And,
moment where I know what you're talking about. He was on the left, kind of put the ball. Was it through his legs or put him around him? And he
yeah,
just had
through his
acres
through
of
his
space.
legs and
But
acres of
yeah,
space. He forced a shot there and he cut inside. He just looked like he was gliding today. He
yeah,
he really looked like he was in I guess a flow state, which is something that we haven't really seen from him so much this season, which was great to see. And to be fair, that came mostly from central areas. I'm just being super picky in the situation that happened on that left hand side. I personally just don't think neither Martinelli or Trossard have the ability to do what he did and make it look so easy. He eats up ground. He looks so calm and relaxed every time he has the ball. So yeah, an amazing performance from him. And that first goal was, listen, we were very, very dominant in that
yeah.
first period of the game. So the goal was coming. I know beforehand, I think it was Gyokeres who sort of got the ball on the right hand side, cut in and had a venomous shot. I mean, we can definitely go into Gyokeres
Yeah.
a bit later on in the podcast, but obviously that one should have been a corner. I think it took a deflection, and then I don't know. I'm not sure if this was before the first goal or not, but Trossard had a shot which narrowly missed went past the post again. I think was probably a corner. So we looked extremely threatening in that first half, which we haven't really been able to say over the last, I don't know, whole season really. So it was awesome to see the way they started the game. Obviously, just for context for our viewers, the lineup obviously was Raya, Timber, Saliba, Gabriel, Hincapié, who again I thought was outstanding today. Again, we can go into depth later. Zubimendi, Rice, Eze, and then Trossard, Gyokeres, and Saka. But yeah, the first goal came. Saka did really, really well on that right hand side. He looked back to his best today, I've got to say. Just very, very threatening whenever he had the ball. He's one of those players, and I'm not sure if you've played against these sorts of players yourself, Cal, but like when you tackle them, for some reason, they still keep the ball.
Yeah.
And Saka is very much that type of player.
I'm so jealous of those type of players, man. I don't know how they do it. The ball just sticks to their feet no matter what. But that's the type of players you want in this squad. And I mean, credit to Saka. It was him that set up that first goal. He kind of got it around. I forget who the defender was, but he got it around their left back, I believe. Fizzed in a ball, and Eze, it wasn't a great touch. It was a little bit behind him. It kind of popped up weirdly, and then just to take that on the volley is just class. That's just what Eze does. Like, he's probably the player that in that moment I'm most confident that he's going to be able to finish that chance, and he 100%. Did it in the end. But something funny I want to talk about Eze. I saw something on social media before, but I was seeing a Spurs fan saying that they hate Eze more than Sol Campbell.
Amazing. You just gotta love it. You know what I mean? Like he's an icon. He's gonna be forever in Arsenal folklore, no matter what he does for the rest of his career. He scored 5 goals in the North London derby across 2 games. I mean, what a player! What a player! And it could have been a hat trick, to be fair.
Yeah, I mean, he got taken off, but I'm not going to complain because we got to see Odegaard play some minutes. He played well as well. We'll get on to that later. But obviously, after we scored that goal, and then Muani, they go up the other end, and they score the goal to equalize, make it 1-1. At that point, I don't know how you were feeling, but I thought, like, here we go again. Like, I know there was good signs, but there's been times this season when, you know, we're playing decent and then the other team gets a chance. We let them back into the game. And I thought it was going to be the same old story. Luckily, that wasn't the case. But how were you feeling in that moment when Muani scored that goal?
2 things to really break down here. Firstly, it was after we scored the goal. I think it was only 2 minutes. 2 minutes later. And on the way back to the centre circle, you saw Declan Rice specifically on camera saying, again, guys, think with your heads, like switch on. And he was the one that made the individual error, which led to the goal. Which is extremely frustrating. And listen, he's definitely a leader, and he does usually lead by example. To be fair, I think his second half performance did prove that, because he really did bounce back, and that's something that Mikel Arteta did talk about in his post match. But it's so frustrating, mate. It's so frustrating. It seems like, I know we've now conceded 20 goals in the Premier League, and up until the game just before this one, so after the Wolves game, it was 19, and a combined XG of 2.99 over those 19 goals. 6 of those goals had an XG of 0.04 or lower, which tells me a few things. It tells me, number one, teams usually either score off absolute worldies, like, I don't know, Hugo Bueno. Is it Hugo Bueno? I think it is. Yeah. Hugo Bueno's first goal against us last week in the Wolves game. And I don't know, Cunha's goal, Dorgu's goal. You can have a list of absolute screamers, which are tiny, tiny little XG chances that Premier League players do score, or individual errors. You can name Zubimendi against Spurs, was it last year? You can name Zubimendi against Man United and for their first goal.
Obviously last week, whichever way.
Last week, Declan Rice this week, you know. So these are the ways that we are conceding goals at the moment, and it has been sort of for the whole season. So to me, dominating the ball, having a large proportion of possession, doesn't mean anything if within that small proportion of the opponent's possession, they can actually either score a screamer or we make extremely poor individual errors, which usually lead to goals. So to me, the most important thing is we cut out those errors like we had at the start of the season. At the start of the season, we used to go 1-0 up, and I never thought we would even consider a shot on target. There was a whole month where we didn't even consider a shot on target. So we need to go back to that, because it seems like the way that we are playing out, they're very, very fixated on building up from the back. It seems like we take quite a big risk almost every time we have the ball playing out. And then in the final third, we're almost so risk averse. It's so weird. To me, it should be almost the other way around. Obviously,
Yeah.
there should be balance there, but it should be the other way around. You should be taking all the risks in the world in the final third, but in your own third, you should be taking absolutely no risks. It happened the way it did. Obviously, it was 1-1. I think it was Spurs' second touch in our box at the time,
Yeah.
which is obviously extremely frustrating. Went into halftime at 1-0, completely undeserved, totally dominated the first half, but we find ourselves again giving a team a lifeline. And if you think back to Spurs' game against Manchester City, they were awful for the first half. I managed to come back and draw the game in the second half. So my head, absolutely very similar to you, went to that game in particular, and I was very angry. There's a mixture of emotions, anger, frustration, and just I was just thinking, like, is it really this year that we still don't have the bottle to go and win these sorts of games? So the reaction at halftime was super important for me to see, a positive one. Anyway, what about you?
I mean, it's easy to say in hindsight that I wasn't worried, but at the halftime break, I was definitely feeling quite negative about it. Which, I mean, it is Spurs. Like, they are just shit. Like, at the end of the day, like, we
Oh,
usually
they're
do
terrible.
play pretty good against them. What was that? I think we haven't. I think I saw a stat. It was like Arteta hasn't lost like 5 games against him, 5 away games, which is just really impressive to see. So yeah, going into that second half, I was feeling a little bit negative. I thought, like, oh, this might be a bit of a scrappy, like, we'll grind it out in the end, maybe a Gabriel corner, that sort of thing. But it wasn't the case because Gyokeres. Yeah, I'm gonna make some people cringe with that one, but yeah, that's going on TikTok. Yeah, oh, what a strike, man! The ball comes into him. I don't know how he had that much space. Essentially, that's something we've been talking about as well. Players attacking in those central spaces, it's been almost non-existent for us. But he picks up the ball, and what a strike! His ball striking abilities are actually insane. He's
Yeah.
so good at it. He's the striker that, obviously, I know there's a lot of flaws to his game, but I think in terms of that aspect of his game, like actually striking the ball, it's what we've been missing previous seasons. You know, if it's like a Havertz or a Jesus, they're more technical. They might try and finesse it or play the pass or something like that, but he just takes the shot, and I love to see it. And I think, in my opinion, that was his best game in an Arsenal shirt. What did you think of it?
100%. Very well said. I think as well, like in the first half, to me, he got unlucky. Obviously, that first opportunity he had. I also thought there was a chance where Trossard, who I didn't think had a good game at all, had the ball in the. I think Xavi Simons tried to play a cross in his own third.
Yep.
He sort of intercepted it, Trossard. And to me, the obvious pass was Gyokeres, who was through. And to me, if he gets the ball in that area, it's game over. It's lights out. He strikes the ball well, and we score to make it, I think, 1 or 2-0 at the time. But he didn't get the ball. And in the second half, I actually thought in the first half he wasn't great, Gyokeres. The reason I say that is because, again, something I've mentioned previously on the pod, he's obsessed with contact. Unlike other strikers in the Premier League, he loves the tussle.
I need to say something about that. I'm sorry, but he's played great, but in previous weeks, I hate how he just focuses on pushing back into the player for so long, and he doesn't focusing in the ball. I saw a breakdown of the Wolves game. There's a lot of times where he's pushed the player 20 meters back, and the ball's bounced 20 meters in front of him.
Yeah,
I'm just not a
100%.
fan of. I'm hoping that surely they can see that in the analysis room or whatever, and they can obviously fix that. But we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, go on.
Yeah, you think that over a period of time he'll get used to the fact that, I don't know, in Portugal and maybe in the Champions League as well, he will be able to do that to defenders. But in the Premier League, it just won't run. And I think the more time that goes past, he'll realize that he doesn't have, I guess, the ability to do that to central defenders in the Premier League. They're just too strong. But obviously, what a strike. And you picked it up really, really well in terms of that actual technique of striking the ball and striking the ball with serious power and accuracy is something that individual skill, he's in the top 1% probably in the world. And I don't think it's that, I don't know, contentious to say that, to be honest with you. I don't think it's that crazy to say, because obviously his goal scoring ability was shown at Sporting, and most of his strikes were that sort of instinctive strike.
Yep.
Again, he has a load of flaws, like you've said, backing into players. His link-up play is not particularly brilliant. Sometimes when he runs into the channels, he kicks the ball out of play, and he's just not technically the best footballer. But that particular isolated
Yeah.
skill, he is top class, and he really did show it. It actually reminded me of Aubameyang's goal against Spurs when we won 4-2. I'm not sure if you remember it.
I think I know which one
Quite
you're talking about. Yeah.
yeah, quite similar. I think that one was at the Emirates. Aaron Ramsey, I think, just sort of hit the ball towards Aubameyang, and Aubameyang didn't even take the first. His first touch was the shot, but
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
he said it.
Yeah.
He said it really well for himself. Gyokeres. It's one of those things where like you see all these training videos of them doing the shooting practice, and it's always Gyokeres. It's like if you miss, you're out. It's always Gyokeres who's in last, which tells me that he never really misses the target, and it's exactly that sort of training shot that he took, and yeah, what a goal. And what a time to get it. 2 minutes
Yeah.
after the half
Perfect.
time. It was perfect timing. Great ball from Timber. Again, who I didn't think had a great game at all. I think
He
we can
looks
talk about Timber.
exhausted, man. I
He
think we can
does,
talk
yeah.
about it now, but Timber looks exhausted. Not sure why Ben White wasn't on the bench. I thought he was going to be fit for this game. I think he was injured. I didn't know that, but I thought as soon as Mosquera came on, you could see the difference straight away. In my opinion, Mosquera played class, and I was talking to one of my mates about this, Lachlan, who was on the pod about a month ago. But I can't believe I still can't believe it. We bought him for 12 mil. 21
Yeah,
year
it's
old centre back.
ridiculous.
It's tall, Spanish. It's just insane. It's a steal, man. And yeah, Timber I think needs a break, and I think we don't play a game for a whole week now. So I think this could be the time to do it. And if Ben White's back, wouldn't mind seeing him come in. And then obviously international break is it's a little bit far away, but hoping the boys can reset a little bit and keep going.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. And obviously, Timber as well was on a yellow card quite early on. So I think
But
he actually did quite well not to get sent off. But I was saying to my friends at the pub, like 100%, like Mosquera should be the one to come on. And be yeah, there had it like 10 minutes later, the sub was made, which was great for my mental me thinking that I'm a good tactician. But no, for Arsenal, it was brilliant. It was brilliant. He came on, he was strong, he was composed, he was good in the duel, he was winning his headers, and he brought a sense of aura to that back line, who I think at the time probably needed it. Needless to say, I thought Timber's pass for that Gyokeres goal was top class. Really good pass into that zone 14, which you alluded to earlier. We don't really have the ball in that area very often. So yeah, really good. Looked like we were going to cruise to another big win, and then well, I don't know, 15 minutes later,
it's not a
I
goal.
personally thought we really got away with that.
We did.
And it's
My opinion.
something that I've really gone on to Gabriel quite a lot this season and
100% agree with
of
you.
previous seasons. We remember the Newcastle goal, and then he did it another time, didn't he?
Yeah, I can't
And
remember when, but he has done that before, and it's so
and the goal was
frustrating.
given. It was Voltemade, wasn't it? It was
Yeah.
Voltemade
Yep.
again at Newcastle, and the goal was given. So he went down very easily for me, and that could have easily been a goal. So we got lucky, we got away with it, and that would have made it 2-2 in a game where Spurs had absolutely nothing, which just shows you really got to take your chances in these games because teams don't need a lot to pounce and get themselves back into it. But we got away with it, man. We really did.
Yeah, it's really frustrating watching Gabriel do that because he's probably one of our strongest players, yet he goes down the most easiest. Like I thought he would have learned from that Newcastle game, like it's happened twice against Newcastle, but I think we got away with it. I think if the ref gives out on the field, it's a goal. They're not going to overturn that for a push. It's actually softer than the Voltemata one from what I can remember. So
100%.
definitely got away with it, and thank God. I mean, it all evens out, I guess, at the end of the season as people talk about VAR. But yeah. After that, Eze with his fifth goal against Spurs. What'd you make of it?
Yeah, it was Eze who I think won the ball back in his defensive half before we sort of went on the counter attack. I think Gyokeres flicked it onto Eze. Eze played the ball into Saka. Saka, I guess, probably should have scored, but it was a great, I think, recovery tackle from Van der Ven, who, by the way, I thought the way that Spurs played, obviously, for all the Spurs fans out there, they had a lot of injuries, like 12 or 13 first team players out. So unlucky, it's I say it's unlucky, but they had also bad injury issues last year. So maybe there is something more going on there, which isn't ideal for them. But I thought Van der Ven actually played quite well, considering they were obviously playing a back three. And it was interesting what they were doing on Saka. It wasn't Spence really who was man marking Saka. It was Van der Ven who was coming slightly wider to try and stop Saka. Just the problem is you can't really stop it once he gets started. So yeah, he made a good recovery tackle there, but Eze was there to follow up, and yeah, his celebration was just class, absolutely class, and yeah, sort of marked a really really good performance from him.
Yeah, and at that point, I thought he was going to go on and get the hat trick. I was hoping for it. I'm not sure. There's probably a stat out there that might prove me wrong, but that probably would be the first time an Arsenal player, scored 2 hat tricks against Spurs in the season. Surely, right? You'd think that would probably be the case, but yeah, it's class. He is a clutch player, isn't he? And yeah, it was definitely at that point, the nerve sort of went down and thought, okay, this is it. I think we're pretty comfortable here at that point. And then we kind of cruised our way through. Odegaard obviously came on for Eze. I'm not a fan of when players are on a hat trick, they've been taken off.
Yeah.
I'm always not a fan of it. But Odegaard came on. It was good to see him get some minutes and played well as well. I mean, obviously almost the last kick of the game, he got the assist for Gyokeres, and again, what a finish, Gyokeres. And I think that'll do both of those players a world of good. Odegaard has been under a lot of scrutiny. People were saying like should he even be the captain? He's not performing in the Big Six games, although Spurs aren't really in the Big Six anymore, are they? And then Gyokeres obviously not finishing a lot of chances as of recent. So I think them assisting and scoring is going to do wonders for both of them. And then that was the perfect ending to that game, wasn't it? 4-1. That means we've beaten Spurs this season 8-2, which is just amazing. And then yeah, so obviously after that game, it takes us up to, well, not takes us up to, sorry, we're still first place, but we've got an extra 3 points on the board. City obviously still have a game in hand. If they win that, they'll be 2 points behind us, but we just need to keep ticking along in the Premier League, don't we?
100%, yeah.
It's going to be tough, but I think we can do it. I mean, after that game, I'm just hoping that gives them the confidence.
Yeah, you think so, man. And there have been a few really, really notable performances, man. I think that you look at David Raya, man, and at 3-1 up, he makes an unbelievable save, by the way. Unbelievable. Again, another Declan Rice mistake, which led to the chance. I can't actually remember who it was who sort of flicked the ball through David Raya's legs, but he managed to claw back.
I think it was Richarlison.
Saved the ball off Richarlison, you're right. He managed to claw back off the line, and Mosquera got rid of it. And, again, after last week, what happened at Wolves, David Raya's picked up quite a lot of criticism as well, and rightly so. But he's been incredible for us this season, and it really another moment of just pure class to keep us in games when we really, really need him. World-class keeper, in my opinion. Yeah, an amazing performance. What did you think of Nkapie's performance today? He was unbelievable, in my opinion.
He's so good, man. Like, he's just come into that left-back spot, sort of taking it off Calafiore, really. He's just, he's a lot better attacking-wise than I'd probably give him credit for. I remember a couple of weeks ago on the podcast, I was saying that I don't really like him in those attacking areas with Trossard, but, I mean, he's proved us wrong, and even that moment, he was probably our best player last week in my opinion in the Wolves game, and that goal that he got in the Wolves game as well that proved me wrong. That like, okay, he actually can get into the final third and make some progress, and he always seems up to it as well. He's got that sort of South American sort of grit and aggression, which is really good to see. Sorry, especially in these derby games. So yeah, super happy with his performance for sure. Yeah.
I mean, what do you think of his ball to Saka in the first half? I mean, absolute class. I mean, at that stage, I think it was 1-0. If Saka had lobbed Vicario, we're 2-0. We're absolutely flying. But I thought in terms of the weight of pass, it was quality. It was absolute quality.
I feel like a lot of our players are just so class at that. Like Eze is so good at that. I mean, Ray is pretty good at it as well. Norgard, obviously against Wigan, was exceptional at it. So I've seen Havertz do that sort of ball before. We've got a lot of those sort of players that can just lob it and get into good spots, which is just another tool, I guess, in Arteta's arsenal, I guess you could say. No pun intended.
Yeah, absolutely. Great pun. Great pun. I thought Zubimendi as well had a great game. I think he won't take the plaudits.
I thought it was okay. I was calling for Norgard to start this game. I think the problem with Zubimendi is he just looks a bit tired. That's all. Not a bad performance.
He was mustard. He did everything so simply though. Like he didn't overcomplicate anything. The tempo of the game was really controlled by him, and I think it's one of those things where people don't necessarily pick up on it because they're not looking out for it. They're seeing the Ezes, the Gyokereses, the Declan Rice's drive through midfield. But then, like I see with Declan Rice, for example, in the first half, he had two opportunities where that weight of pass should have been better. And like I look at other midfielders in Europe, and I'm thinking like attacking midfielders are going to be, I don't know, passing with slightly more guile. But with Zibamendi, he controls the tempo of a game. Everything is so calm. Like again, it goes under the radar for sure, for sure. And I thought he had a really, really good performance. But yeah, no, I guess more generally, just what a way to start the week, eh? It's a Monday morning kickoff, 3:30 a.m. We go to Spurs Stadium, we kill them, and now I guess we're flying now. It seems like the Wolves game didn't even happen just because we've gained so much confidence, and we can just sort of wait and see Man City play their next game. I can't actually remember who they've got next up. In my head, is it Everton? I mean, I could be complete.
Well, they've got Leeds away,
That's
which
it. Leeds away.
Leeds is a
Leeds away.
tough place to go. Obviously, we did win 4-0 there, but I'm pretty sure they haven't lost many games at home, Leeds. So I'm hoping Calvert-Lewin maybe score a couple goals. I think he's quality, man. He's proven me wrong. I thought he was absolutely washed. He's had a decent little season with Leeds, and yeah, Leeds are pretty solid, man. Like 15th, they're probably going to survive relegation in my opinion. But yeah, we go into our next game. I think that's what we need to focus on. Man City can do whatever they want, whatever. We've got to focus on our next game. We've got Chelsea next, which I mean, London Derby again. It'll be a tough game. We usually are pretty good against Chelsea at home, but at the end of the day, Chelsea is a good team. Got to put some respect on them. And yeah, how do you see us going in that game?
Got to be 3 points, mate. It's got to be 3 points. Obviously, we got the better of them in the cup. Rafinha's
Yep.
come in and he's done a lot of good things for them. In my opinion, he's a bit of a yes man. He's been brought in just to please the hierarchy there at Chelsea. It, to me, shows a lack of intent on their part to win things.
And I
But
just
they've
want to
got
say as well, like something I just realized, like, did you realize that managers are just aging men?
wow. There you go.
That's a Rafinha quote right there.
He is. I actually hadn't heard that. I
That's what
actually
he
hadn't
said. That's
heard
what he
that.
said in one of his first interviews at
Yeah,
Chelsea.
strange bloke, strange bloke. He actually puts one of his players under the bus. I'm not sure if you saw that.
No, I didn't.
I actually don't know who it was because I didn't watch the game, but one of their players lost a man from a corner, and he spoke about it in the post match. He was like, "I'm not going to name names, but one of our players
Well, it's pretty
had the
obvious, right?
responsibility of marking this guy, and this guy now won the ball, scored the goal, and here we go." But yeah, they've got some really talented players, man. I mean, defensively, they're not super strong, I would say. But
Well, they're
going
going to be they're
forward,
going to be missing Fafana. He got suspended against Burnley, so he's going to be out. So I guess that makes it
of course,
a bit easier for us.
of course, of course. But going forward, man, from Caicedo forward, obviously Enzo Fernandez, Cole Palmer, obviously Estevao, João Pedro, Pedro Neto. They've just got an abundance of quality in that final third. So we're gonna have to silence them, and there's no time better to do it than now, man. So obviously in previous years we've had extremely good results. I'm pretty sure at home 5-0.
Yeah,
Havertz brace. Hopefully Havertz will be fit. I
I
know.
hope so. He always turns up
Yeah,
against Chelsea, doesn't he?
he does, man. And Mikel Arteta mentioned that he would be fit for the Spurs game. So I'm slightly confused as to why he wasn't in the squad. But who cares really? He'll be back for the Chelsea game, I'm sure, and hopefully we can go and beat them. What do you reckon?
Yeah, I mean, just on the Havertz thing, I think they probably just didn't want to risk it. I mean, after this, we have a full week, so I guess gets him ready for that game. But obviously I'm expecting a win as I always am as a biased Arsenal fan. But I think that Spurs game is really going to kick us into gear, and I'm hoping it will be. But I think it will be, in my opinion. And yeah, expecting a win. Huge 3 points. You just keep building the pressure, keep ticking along, man. That's all this. That's all the Premier League is. You just got to keep it ticking. And at Chelsea have so many good players. João Pedro is very good player. He's almost like a Jesus regen in my opinion. He's so similar to him. Cole Palmer, touch wood right now. This could be clipped, but he never plays against Arsenal. I never really turns up. I don't know why. Like I don't know if he's banned from the Emirates or something, but for some reason, every time it comes, he always has some injury. But I feel for him, man, because I know you're probably hoping that he is fit for the World Cup because he's a quality player on his day. He's just I think he should have had the surgery at the start of the season, man. I know they're trying to push through it, but yeah, you don't like seeing that when in a player, injured, fit, injured, fit. It's kind of like Havertz and Odegaard at the moment. So yeah, I feel for them, but yeah, expecting 3 points for sure. What's your score prediction?
3-0,
Three
clean
nil.
sheet.
Okay.
Yeah, lock them out. 3 goals, maybe a set piece here and there. Um, yeah, I'm confident, man. I think Eze needs to retain his place, whether it's in that central number 10 area or on the left hand side. I know Trossard didn't play so well, so maybe he will start on the left hand side and Odegaard will come back in. But
I just don't think
yeah, no,
Arteta rates him on the left though. I don't know why, man. Just give him a chance. Surely that little moment in the game gives him a little kick up the arse, man. Surely.
the light bulb moment. Hopefully, but who knows? Who knows? And yeah, no, it's been a great week as an Arsenal fan, man, and I guess long term we're really hoping that this could be the moment that kicks us into gear. And as you said, you think it will be, and it should be, man. It should be. It should give them a lot of confidence, showed a lot of resilience. I think the Spurs game came at a perfect time. One of the worst Spurs teams I've ever seen, by the way. I thought they were absolutely horrendous. Again, they've had a lot of injuries, like a lot of injuries.
They
So
could genuinely be
um,
relegated, man. Like honestly, bro.
yeah, yeah,
29
it's
points. West Ham are 18th on 25. I mean, tough times for them, but yeah, just my score prediction as well. I'm gonna say 3-1. I probably would have said 3-0 or something similar, but I'll say 3-1. I just feel like our defense isn't fully good at the moment. Like even though we played well today, we still conceded the goal. And I mean, on another day, we would have conceded two in that game. So I'm gonna say 3-1. But what's your lineup? What do you reckon?
good question. So I'd go David Raya, obviously. I'd go Timber, Saliba, Gabriel, Hincapié, Supermendi, Rice, Erdegaard, Saka, Gyokeres, Eze is what I'd do. But I
You don't
don't
think?
think that's what Arteta will do.
Yeah, you don't think Mosquera has done enough to play right to keep that spot right back?
No, no, I think he's a squad player, and
Yeah.
I think Timber's got enough fodder in his Arsenal this year to warrant starting. He's been brilliant overall. He's just tired and not been necessarily up to scratch for the last couple of games. I mean, if Ben White's fit, then he's probably in for a shout as well. But
Yep.
that's what I would do. What would you do?
Probably the same as you, to be honest. Yeah.
Yeah,
I just really want to see Ben White play, man. I think he elevates our attack. So if he is fit and ready, I know Arteta probably won't play him, but I'd probably play him at right back. Uh, that's probably it though for me. That's probably the only change I might make if he is fit, of course. But and maybe
fair enough,
maybe
man.
not a change because I want Yoko starting, especially after that game. But I want to see Havertz in this game later on. So
For
definitely
sure.
excited for that.
Cal, what did you think of City's reaction, Pep and Haaland's celebration after the Newcastle result? I'm not
I
sure if you've
actually
seen
haven't
that.
seen the highlights yet, so I'm not sure about this. You might have to enlighten me.
Well, the narrative of Arsenal over celebrating wins when the league's not done and
Yeah.
then us not winning the league. I mean, it was like that. They were properly celebrating, and of course the media say absolutely nothing on it, which is just
Was it a
typical,
was
really,
it a
isn't it?
final of it? Was it a final of a cup or?
No, no, as in against Newcastle, mate, against
Okay,
Newcastle,
okay.
literally in the Premier League.
I'm
Um,
joking. Yeah.
absolutely no context needed. They were just over celebrating, but the media
Yeah.
says nothing. And if we celebrate any single win, that's not us winning the title. Then obviously the media has a lot to say about it. But hey ho, what can you do? Got to move on to the next game, I guess. We got to keep Man City relevant, but in the same time, we got to in the same I guess voice. We've got to focus on what we're doing, and we can only continue to score goals and continue to win games, and that is exactly what we did at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Massive 4-1 win.
Huge, huge for one win. I'm so excited for the rest of the season now, man. Yeah, we have to wait a whole week now. I love these midweek games, but bit of a break for us, I guess, as well. We'll come back to you guys after the Chelsea game on Monday, and then what have we got after that? What have we got coming up? We got Brighton. Oh, man, 3 games in 5 days. We've got Brighton in the Prem away, and then we've got Mansfield Town on the Saturday, 11:15 p.m. So a good time for us. And the Brighton game's at 6:30, so should be good. And then we got a little bit of a break, but yeah, should be good times ahead. Keep ticking away. So yeah, I think that's all we got time for today. I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. North London is red. I said it in my video. That's dropping later. It might come out by the time this is out. But life as an Arsenal fan, Australia is red as well. I actually had when I was out on a walk yesterday, some kid yelled out across the road, he's like Arsenal like that, and I gave him a wave as well, which is which is good to see that a lot of Arsenal fans around. But yeah, that's all we've got time for today, George.
It worked out, man. Let it all work out. It worked out. Have a good day, Gooners.
Have a good day, goodness.